Hey, Just.Hek, you said you wanted to start the season with a freestyle. Check it. It's Too Dapper on Just.Hek. El monstruo que le mete en dos idiomas como nada. Nada por la tierra y camina sobre el agua. You have to keep evolving, abracadabra. Alakazam con esta barra tapa tiene magia. Con lo que yo entiendo de progreso viene estándar. El jardín en mi mente gano un designer. Halo in your life, Call of Duty or Fallout. Infinite with schemes. Dark souls is amongst us. Too Dapper es un monstruo. Breaking down the construct. Part-time success es un poeta que no gangster. Mejor soy estudiante, hunting down the masters. Django high, dangle my investments in big hands. Rio Grande, Casa Grande, con el elefante. Don't get it confused. It's this shit without a sponsor. Same people that hate and not supporters, I'm accomplished. Bitch niggas betray me and I grip them by their tonsils. Everything is true. They be lying like some fossils. You still digging their shit, but the real is gonna prosper. I'm higher than a salsa, rubbing on some pasta. My skill is omnipresent. This is more like Casper. They sleeping on my blessings. When they gone, they gonna catch it. The verse will wake them up. I'm a blow, then I'm a cash it. Bitch, I'm blowing up. This an actual freestyle. I flow too wild. This a new season. Como wow. Como le van a meter, como mano. Tú sabes que yo meto, que yo flow como hermano. Filosofiando. Y le meto diferente. Too Dapper, just a monster. Tú quieres de mi gente. Growing the fucking base. That's the fan base. And the weed is so strong that you think it's fucking lace. Now I'm getting off topic. Bitches omnipresent like a topic. Boy, I'm chilling in the fucking tropics with my girl. Mi mujer y mi gente. Tú sabes que yo estoy omni fucking presente.
Ooh,
That's
ooh,
two.
fire. Ooh. Oh man, what a way to start it. What a way to start it.
That's two.
I am Just.Hek. This is Too Dapper, the rapper. This is just another podcast, season 3. And man, thank you. Blessings. That was a blessing right there. Too Dapper, what's going on, my brother?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. I'm back home. I'm back home with moms. That translates to just feeling good, man, honestly.
That's what's up.
Just grounded, stabilized, man. I'm excited to be here. I'm happy that you kept pushing it, man. I'm happy that I'm back to this. I'm happy that where I am with music now, it's not where I was with music then when we were talking. And it's just, man, it's been a lot of blessings since we last spoke. So it's good, man.
I sense growth, man. And I've been following you, through the summer and throughout, since I've met you. And, you've always been nice. But I can tell like the sounds you're playing with them a little bit more, and your verbiage is becoming more mature. It's growing with you, as it does with all rappers. You know what I'm saying? But you're definitely like yeah. And then you just bend genres. You're a genre bend. Like you just take you take the languages and you just meld them together, and it's just like you got no choice but to get Rosetta Stone. If you don't understand, like bro, because you're like, yo, this is fire. Like, yo, bro, you nice, man. Like,
I appreciate that, man.
We need to support, young people, and especially people that are actually nice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing if it's your man, so you're like, nah, he cool. You know what I'm saying? He cool. But it's another thing when you see it, you're like, man, like that kid, the industry gotta let you in one day. We gotta get you in there somehow, some way, but.
Man, that's how I feel about it, man. Before I was like, I've been down, but I got up. That's the shoes and I tie them up. Can't climb for the hand me down, but I swore I would level up. By chance like a snowstorm. Couple bands on vacation. On the boat eating fresh prawns. That was picking rocks like Capstone. Keep it 16 like I'm Montana. You gonna need a seat like I'm M. Hammer. Eran 4 niños para una cama. I pull up to the school when they ride designer. Got 1 pair of shoes for the school year. But my mama grind like a smooth get. Now to that sharp off the grindstone. Homies calling hits like they cap on. I be on the mound with my cap on. Niggas wanna test like they capstone. They was choking on the street before we had phones. Kill so many niggas, music need a couple clones. Let me show you how it did.
to live a life like this. Homie said he's stuck in cycles. I said, shit, I'm stuck just like you. When I'm picturing the iPhone, secondhand just like the Bible. I know my time is coming. I got some cages left to ride. That's the shoes and a timer. Getting clown for the hand me down, but I swore I would level up. Funny money serious till you close the gap. But if I could, man, I would run it back. Record all the songs I was scared to rap. Cause recruiters wouldn't like a nigga edge like that. Pen like that, but pen like that. So I walked on the field just to find a squad. Take a sec with that, ain't ironic that niggas feeling left in white institution. I'm giving up a check for some retribution. It's a whole lot of wealth, need some distribution. Cause we get the bag and we keep it pushing. But I'm pushing cushions for the homeless children. It'll cost a fortune if you give a fuck. Cause a rollie ticking, it just ain't enough. So I do like fishing and I roll it up. Can't catch a shark that's unseen the bluffs. Ain't trapping me with a couple bucks. But let's be honest, I hang with bucks. Cause my homies champs, yours is Andrew Luck. And these hands are swinging like a pendulum. I've been down but I got up. That's the shoes and a timer. Can't clown for the hand me down, but I swore I would level up. Let me show you how it is to live a life like this. Homie said he's stuck in cycle. I said, shit, I'm stuck just like you. When I'm picturing the iPhone, secondhand just like the Bible. I know my time is coming. Got some cages left to ride.
It felt like open practice a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like what I was putting out there was, showing people I'm practicing, I'm getting nicer. Just like anything you love, bro. Like I love this music shit. You're gonna keep doing it, you're gonna get better, right? But then I think I embraced the artistry. I embraced beyond just the music and the music and the lyrics and the bars and the verbiage. I embraced the artistry and the business of it, right? So like a lot of what you get better at when you're rapping is when you're consuming as much rap and rapping as much as I'm rapping, like people they might catch a little bit of it. Like you're gonna catch it because you listen to rap, you're gonna catch it. The improvements, the different schemes, they're like playing with different sounds. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna mess with like flutes on this beat. I'm gonna put trumpets on that one. You're gonna catch that, right? But like everyday people are gonna notice a lot more of the growth when you treat yourself like a business, when you focus on marketing and release, and like you're just showing them things in different ways a lot more than they are going to notice the growth in the music. Because I think, to your point, it's like there's a thin line between humility and confidence, right? It's like I've been nice stuff, like I've been worth listening to. It's a matter of like the command in that respect and making people want to go listen, and I think that's part of the pivot. If you're saying you see growth, that's part of it, man. It's really seeing myself as a business. I love this, and I want to be able to do it. And I don't want to reach a point where it's not sustainable, right? So that's why you have to teach yourself a lot of things. There's so many bloodsuckers in the music. Like they just see that you young and you new and they're trying to get money from you for this and that. And like, oh, I'll put you on articles, this and that. And it's all fake, And at the end of the day, what's going to make people listen is when they see you're carrying yourself like a business,
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that the industry has milked the art form, and it's still an infant, still in its infancy. It's not as aged as rock and roll. It's not as aged as Latin music. It's not as aged as it is the youngest form of art of music in the world, and yet it is also the most popular. I mean, it's everywhere now, and my point is that it started out with these old mobster type rap albums where you got a 360 and you started off in the red. And then it's like if you didn't come in with a lawyer, which nobody did in the 80s, it was like, oh, I got it. I'm on a major. Right, you are. And you owe the major now $200,000 and you didn't even get in the studio yet. And so with the evolution of that, because now everybody is sort of learning, you don't really need a major. The older artists want the major because it's less work. But your generation doesn't need a major because you guys got the energy to promote yourselves, and so it goes to say that now they got to try to get you in other ways. Oh, I'll get you an article. I'll get you in this. I'll get you in that. And yeah, you're not the first person to tell me, yo, I gave this person 3,500 and I was supposed to get spins and all this stuff, and I got nothing, or I didn't get what I thought I was gonna get. So it sucks.
That man, the difference is I'm really approaching this, like full-time day job. I'm an investor, bro. So I do my diligence. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Definitely.
I'm not gonna say I haven't gotten got, but when people come to me, they're approaching to me with like alternate sort of marketing streams and things like that. Man, I have a budget. You feel me? Like I know what I'm putting my music into. I know what I'm putting my dollars into when it's tied to my music. I see what it translates to in terms of growth, or it doesn't translate to, because not everything works, right? So when someone's trying to tell me do this is gonna get you this, it's like, well, I need to see that. You feel me? Because without evidence and without proof in terms of that, like it's hard. It's easy to get got, man. I think that the best investment for me thus far has been really trying to get out there and do shows, man. Like I think. But that's another one of those spaces, man. Venues, promoters, everybody's trying to get their piece, So being your own promoter, booking your own venue, and trying to get your spaces in a city like New York, man. I have a lot of love. I had 50 people at the first show I did, and they all cop tickets. They were buying drinks. The promoters they loved me. They wanted to have me back once a week. And I'm like, well, I lost money on this. You made a lot of money on this, but I lost money on this. If you want me to come back, it's got to look a lot different. And I know why you want me to come back, because my friends were, they were picking off 100, 200 on drinks the whole night. So I feel that. And it's one of those things that it's like, that's where it's easy to make mistakes, or where I've made mine, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I would say a person that I think whose blueprint is definitely worth checking is Russ. And Russ is very transparent. And shout out to Russ. I know he's canceled some shows in Europe and caught some flack for that, but mental health is a thing and people can't respect that. It is what it is. But Russ shows you his early receipts where he was only making like $1,000, $500. And then, it's just diligence and resiliency and just, you just got to keep at it. And, you'll get your hit. You'll get your hit, because one of those, definitely you will. And it, what's even crazy is that sometimes music works in a way where sometimes you might be ahead of the curve and people just ain't ready for that sound. And all of a sudden, the record just comes, somebody just catches the record, they're like, oh, this is fine. You're like, that was my 2018. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even there.
So many people, man. That happened with X, that happened with, I think Joey Badass too. That happened with a lot of people.
So, you just got to remain consistent, but you're nice. You got bars. Like, it's undeniable. And I've played your joints for people.
Me, I want what's coming to me, or what's coming to you. The world, Chico. And everything in it.
Whatever I want. That's the thing, it's whatever I want. The American dream, as I understand it, is rooted in greed. And, when you're running from something, it's hard to really analyze what you're running towards. But I've earned that luxury. Welcome to the album, Too Dapper. Yo soy lo que ha faltado en el rap y no me paro, y yo lo hago solito, no le pido ni la mano. El último álbum duro como un swing de Mr. Cano, y si ellos tienen problemas lo considero pero no afano. Un hermano es doctor, el otro es abogado, el mismo que abogado es rapero y es bacano. Este flow está heavy, ellos están muy liviano. I'll speak a little English for the homies that's confused. El mejor en dos idiomas, but I'm simply not amused con lo que oyen el talento and don't rack me up some views. Si quieres cambiar la música, I'm the one to listen to. I might turn to a cartoon just to give them couple clues, but I'm a happy motherfucker, I might paint myself blue. Y todo lo que rapeo en este booth is the truth. Le metí par de billetes, turn the bed to a stew. Grabando los videos so they can see the fucking passion. They waiting to invest till the stock already popping. That's a bad mistake, cause this market never crashing. I'm at peace when I'm rapping, they at peace when they capping. If rhyming is a race, it's a couple of us lapping. All your favorite artists, Alejandro and Too Dapper. Don't forget the homie Quez and Jew down in Atlanta. Ain't been there in a minute, but them homies is my partners. Not cause we fucking talking, cause they grinding around in chapters. Others give excuses while they steady make it happen. nothing. Este viernes pa' que vean que hay problema when I'm dropping. It's too fucking dapper. El flow está muy nasty. It's too fucking dapper. The flow is too nasty. The flow is too nasty. Welcome to the album. El mejor en dos idiomas. El mejor en dos idiomas.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, no, that kid is nice. Like, you know, they follow you and stuff. But, you know, I think you're definitely on the right track. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta keep flooding it, keep flooding the streets. Just keep giving people something, because, you know, you definitely have the autonomy to do so. You know, especially you got a YouTube channel, because I was just on it, just trying to see. I was like, okay, let me see if I can snag some beats just in case. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got my backup plans for stuff like that. You know,
no, I'm gonna send you a lot of stuff that's not even out yet. Yeah,
whatever. You know, just But you know, and I'm like, yo, this, you know, and I'm just like, okay, like you have all the tools you at your disposal. Just go ahead and kill them. That's why I said, you know what? Let's start it off with a freestyle. Like let's just go in, give the people, you know, why wait? I want to hear them. I don't want to you know, they can hear me, you and me talk after. But I want to hear them. Just hear the fire first, and then you know what? Boom. That's now stay for the conversation. You know. So
man, I think to that point, man. The beautiful thing about it is there's so much, man. There's so much written down. So part of what's going on with life is I lost my pops like 3 months ago, right? So I moved back home with my mom, so she's not alone, right? And that's translated to, you know, I have my studio in my room. It's not like that anymore. You feel me? Like I'm not recording music at the whim. You know, I'm not recording music when it comes to me anymore. I'm living with it. You know, I'm writing it. I'm sitting there with it. I have it for a week or two, and then I'm popping into a studio. So this next one is gonna be a studio album. Everything's gonna be recorded in a studio because it's not a home studio no more, right? At the end of the day, and while that takes away a little bit of my growth in terms of producing my own music, I think it allows me to focus on different things as an artist, you know, and like live with my music in a significantly different way. So I'm sitting on a lot. I mean, you saw that I put up. I got Caminos coming out at the end of this month. I'm sitting on a lot. And I want to replicate a lot of what Russ laid out in terms of like the using a release as a marketing tool, right? Like I'm focused on, part of this independence is showing that you have a following, right? It's like, I have all this engagement on Instagram and YouTube, right? I'm trying to translate that. And you know, maybe I'm putting too much of the master plan out there. I'm trying to translate that to follows on Spotify, right? Because when you reach a certain number of follows on Spotify, the algorithm treats you better, right? They know that you're not faking streams no more. There's actually 300 people that want to know when you drop shit. You know, you're not logging into 5 different computers. Like I know a lot of people do. And I've told you, I don't want that. Like I know a lot of people do, and like playing their own song a billion times. That's not what I'm doing. You know, I'm trying to get organic engagement. And through that, these releases that I've been bottling up, it's like, I keep thinking, it's like, do I drop the album? You know, do I drop 8 songs together? Do I hit them with one every 2-3 weeks? You know, and that's honestly what I'm leaning towards as Russ laid it out, you know, and then when you grow that following, then you drop something bigger, you know?
Oh, totally. And definitely to your point, I know a couple of industry guys that play the algorithm and they pay out money to a little crew of people that, you know, and I'm just like, you know, these are established artists. And I'm just like, okay, like, you know, and when people mention their names, I'm kind of like, nah, they don't. But I don't tell. You know, I'm not even telling.
Oh, I get it, man.
But I'm just like, I just be like, yo, they hot though, right? I'm like, oh, they cool. Yeah.
I get it, man. I really hope I don't have to get it that way. I'm gonna be honest. I get it. I get it.
I don't think you will though. I don't think you will. I think as people, you know, the track comes first. Then it's buying into the person.
The truth has never dodged lies. Take a look inside, see exactly what I am. I never trust lines. Took a look inside, way I see it, I'm the man. Quis que ya no bello. De carajito aprendí lo que sabía de Tego. Bebe, vengo from a bloody past, no star spangled. Cause I ain't plot the killings, I play what I was handed. I play what I was handed. I ain't plot the killings, I play what I was handed. Started dreaming the American, now preaching that it's fallacy. I struggle fighting demons while they laughing from a canopy. Method temperamental, every day he switch it up on me. Monotony to quotidian and create and keep my mind at peace. If I'm ever slowing down, my brothers call me on it. The bar is way too high not to build on the components. I'm never spreading lies, I'm not battling opponents. My enemy is known as the broke shit. And the people that be making it the norm shit. And the rich ones in the towers with they boats in. The broke ones who don't chase it like it's stolen. Cause I'm hungry and I'm eating like a vulture. While they fiending and they living off our culture. Y yo quillao con esta mano que se rompe. The truth has never dodged lies. Take a look inside, see exactly what I am. I never trust lies. Took a look inside, way I see it, I'm the man.
What's currently like? Not what's driving you more so, but what are your musical influences at the moment in terms of like the sounds that are kind of catching your ear, and like what's moving you more or less?
No, that's a great question, man. Because I was honestly being so much more conscious about that. Just the last couple, I've been running a lot. I've been listening to a lot of different music. So many names come to mind, bro. You know, Benny the Butcher. I've been listening to a lot of his music, and I was never into his music before, to be completely honest with you, right?
He's got bars though, man.
He's got
They're
bars.
intricate. Like it ain't just gangster. Like he knows how to put it together. Yeah.
Exactly. He's talking about stuff. It's hard not to mention JID after he dropped this album.
Oh,
2 days ago, 3 days ago.
Forever Story. That right there, man. That might be this generation's Illmatic, to be honest. Or his generation, because
he's rejecting this nuance, this modern day sort of zeitgeist that we don't listen to music, right? He's saying, look, I don't care if you guys want 2-minute songs that are palatable. I'm gonna give you 4.5 minutes of dense bars where you're gonna catch something different every time, and that's like I have to listen to an album 5 times and I still haven't caught 40% of it, and I'm listening, you know. So it's hard not to mention JID, man. So JID, Benny, I've been listening to Jay Electronica.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just got this record player that's back there, hooked it up to some speakers, and I've just been flipping through old vinyl. So I listen to that, a lot of the Carter 3 lately, to be honest, been revisiting that. The Black album, been revisiting that a lot. Still Kanye, man. Still listening to the College Dropout. Still listening to the Cool by Lupe. Yeah. And it's one of those things where recently, when I've been going back to making music, it's like, as an artist, you evolve. I've been listening to a lot of different people, right? Matt Kami comes to mind as well, right? Like you listen to people that are just pushing the boundaries, right? Mm-hmm. But what's true to me, like where I started, the influences, the Lupe Fiascos, the Kanye West, the Jay-Z's, right? Like I can't leave that behind because I understand how it's shaping my sound to not listen to them anymore. To sort of buy into some of the hype that's going around, right? So it's like you gotta be acutely aware of like how what you're consuming, in the same way that you eat, you feel different. When you listen different, you rap different, right? So you have a long stretch of time where I'm listening to a bunch of Mac, the melodies start sounding a little different, and that's just influence, it's direct influence, right? So I've been actually consuming to directly influence. To directly influence what I'm doing. I throw a lot of names at you though. A lot of rappers.
Nah, man. And it's funny too, because I had 2 separate conversations about Mac Miller and Lupe. With Lupe, I mean, industry blackballing withstanding, I mean, he's super nice, man. People, it's unfortunate that people have stopped listening for whatever reason, but Lupe spits bars, man. I mean, bar for bar, you could put him with a lot of these dudes. You could put him there with Kendrick Lamar and them, like, but people just stop listening. They blackballed him from them for the most part. And Mac Miller, there's stuff that I'm listening to that he dropped in like 2013 or 14 that's still I'm just like, man, like
Rhapsody dropped a song maybe a month ago that has a
Yeah.
feature from Mac Miller that's probably from like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. You could tell just by what he's
Yeah.
rapping about
yeah,
and the feel of that, just the gritty,
Yeah.
like what it's capturing. Reminds me what I love a lot about Mac, man. It's reflected in my music. Is you could tell his songs captured a moment. Like his album Circles captured a moment.
Yep.
Right, it captured like something he was going through in his life. Right, when you look at and I hate to turn it to
Yeah.
myself. When you look at when I dropped back to summer, that captured a moment. That was some of the,
of course.
that's the summer of independence. I'm by myself, living in Brooklyn, paying for everything, right? Climbing, chasing everything I need. I'm feeling accomplished, top of the hill. So that's a very hype, happy tape. I'm talking about going into the store, buying snacks, walking around in the summer, biking down the street, playing basketball with my buddies, smoking, drinking, doing whatever you have to do to enjoy your summer, right? To just sort of clear your mind and have a peaceful time. That's just not where I was for some of my other music, right? And it captures a different moment, sort of the darkness, the hunger, the grit. And that's, I think, when you listen to Lupe's music, I think that's why people stop listening, man. Like there's a bitterness that comes to understanding that you have the level of skill that Lupe has, because of course he could see it. Of course he knows what he got, right? And his fan base understands what he got. So it's not like it's people not telling him who he is. And then seeing how much control the cycle and the system has over how much success you have, right? Because Lupe's not going to sell out a show, and he's not going to sell out the Garden, and he should, right? But he's not. Right. He should, right? He's been doing it more than long enough, right?
Definitely. And he's nice enough to. He's nice enough. They
blackballed him effectively. He's dropping that tape that he dropped. There's a song like "Sled Him" on there. It's like Models Backwards. There's so much in there, man. Yeah. Like the level of just he's talking about everything from like actual like the subjecting your body to modeling, right? To physical modeling, to like the way that people model our careers and financial instruments, right? The way that an algorithm models my growth as an artist based on how many followers I have, right? And it's like he's tying that together in a song, and you could not have any idea what he's talking about because it's that melodic and the hook is that beautiful. You know what I mean?
Right. No, man. I listen. It sucks that, and I'm having this conversation with a 25-year-old, right? Who seriously, and he looks at me. He's like, how do you know about, And I'm like, listen, the industry wanted him to keep making Kick Push. And he's not, and then he gave them what the commercial hits that they wanted. And they still didn't want him, they didn't want to let him do what he wanted. Which leading back to you, that's a lesson. That's a history lesson. If you can't be in control of your own music or your own direction, it's one thing to say if someone's saying, listen, hey, maybe you want to use that as a second single. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe let's look at something a little bit radio friendly or Spotify friendly. Let's look at that versus no, you need to do this because this is who you are. And it's like, no, that's not who I am. That's who I was maybe 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a kid no more. I'm a grown man now. So I think that's a lesson for you in the sense like, you have to find the right situation. And right now, this is probably the best time musically, creative wise, because no one's going to tell you what you can do. It's what you're feeling. And people and the like-minded people are going to get that and they're going to feel that. And it's going to be an amazing thing for them. You'll find out, it's weird if the things that you find out in that there's so many people going through what you're going through. But, you don't know that until once your art is out there. And then it's like, oh, yeah, man. I was feeling that. You said that on this line. And, man, I went through that and, 2 years ago. And I understand those feelings. Or, man, I remember the best times of my life. And I get that from your song. I get that feeling. And so, it's one of those, it's, you definitely, this is the learning time for you just from the business standpoint, because there's gonna be deals in your lap one day. I'm telling you, it's gonna be deals in your lap. And you're gonna be like, man, like, what should I do? And you come from a family of lawyers. Shout out to your brother. You guys are all smart, so you'll read the fine print. But that day is coming, man, and you be ready because you know there's a history. Not everyone ends up like J. Cole and Kendrick, and got a lot of guys that only got a pack of cigarettes in an Adidas tracksuit. So it is what it is, and it's unfortunate, man, that this is a business that can create such beauty from pain and joy and all this stuff, and they just want to and then it's like, okay, we want to own that from you, not give you the ownership. No, we want to own it and use it. And one day it's in a Tide commercial or some shit. You're like, what the hell? Like, it's crazy.
And I'm not making a cent off.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
yeah, man. When you start thinking about that and just potential deals created, because I have friends that make music, right? Like I have friends in the industry that are ahead of me, experiencing more success than I am, and I'm seeing the kind of deals they got. I'm seeing the kind of ways that their music is getting pushed, and I see the value in having a team. I truly do.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that in any business ventures, there's compromise. You got to make money. I got to make money. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think back to like the way Russ approached it, which is, I want to maintain as much control and ownership as I can. Right. And then you think about the way Thug approached it. And he said, I'm signing whatever I get. Because I know I'm going to be doing this my whole life. He said, I'm signing whatever. And, now he's going through what he's going through. He said, I know I'm going to be doing this my whole life. I'm signing whatever I get because the way his confidence with his creative output is he's never going to stop. So whatever deal he signs first, he knows it's going to be the worst one. He just wants a platform, right? So I'm at the point that I don't want to, I don't want to diminish my platform by being steadfast and being headstrong and saying I'll never sign anything. I want to get to a platform, and I think I got something that people need to be listening to, right? And I understand numbers, man. I understand that it's a business and there's a trade-off, and there's not, I'm not signing anything that I'm the only person that reads it. You know what I'm saying? That's not how I'm gonna get going. And at the end of the day, we're talking about having a relative level of confidence that someone's gonna believe in me enough to invest in me, right? That's what happens when you see yourself as a business. So what am I gonna do with this investment? It could be an investment with where I'm carrying high interest. It could be an investment that I'm paying for at the end of the day, a high dollar. But if it leads to my growth, if it leads to eventual growth and me having access to more investments and getting my sound out there and being able to go do a show in LA and go do a show in Atlanta, do a tour all over the country, and that means that I'm doing this tour all over the country just to get in front of people barely making $1, I'd sign it. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I'm getting in front of the world. And I think that when people hear it, they're going, no. So what I'm looking for is opportunities to open for people, opportunities to get in front of people, right? Just strengthen the platform, because I know I'm somewhere. I'm the kind of artist that I'm always going to be able to make music, man. The only reason I'm not outputting more, the only reason I'm not putting out more out there and not flooding the streets, as you mentioned it, to some extent, because I've already put out a lot of music. The only reason I'm not putting out more is to not dilute my own sound, one, and two, because I'm focused on building other aspects of being a business, right? It's like I want to release one song and see how it impacts it differently for me to focus on releasing it this way to releasing it this way before I do it with a whole album, So it's like this sort of the freedom that comes with what I'm doing now, man. It's unparalleled, to be honest. And with the things that are cooking up and the level of when you structure it this way and you keep numbers and you run budgets and you see the impact of numbers, then you can pitch it to anybody, right? I can tell somebody what $1,000, if I can tell you what 1,000 of your dollars would translate to for me in 2 months. If you tell me right now, Angelo, here, I'm going to give you $1,000, what would you do with it? I'll tell you exactly where I put every dollar, and I can show you receipts about every dollar I'm spending and what it would translate for. What it would translate to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, personally, when I listen to your music, I was listening to like your first 2 tracks, and I was just like, damn, man, like, and it's just crazy. It's like I know so many people that are like on the cusp of making it, right? And it's like, you know, I keep telling you guys, like, yo, the day's gonna come, man. It's gonna come. Like, just keep going. And you know, I I know it can be hard sometimes, you know, and especially like, you know, with your dad. And my condolences to you and your family.
Thank you.
I met your father because you know Kel have the same dad, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I met him over Zoom. He's a cool dude. I remember him. He was talking. He came in with the do rag. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" He was a cool dude.
I
Man.
probably didn't even have on a shirt.
No, he had a tank top. He had a tank top and the wig cap.
And the Dominican do rag, probably.
But you know, I think you know that's there's definitely moments where you have to look at like what's most important. And right now you're supporting your family, which is a big shout out to you for devoting time to that. But do you ever have feelings where you're just like, man, like when is it my time? 'Cause I know you hear certain people and you're like, that's popping like right now. I know you gotta hear, you gotta like, oh my God, like that's really what they want right now. Like, okay.
Yeah, man. You know, I think that being doing shows
Yeah.
and seeing what some people are, you know, going up there doing. I'm not gonna say no names, but seeing
No,
people
no,
going
no,
up there not rapping their lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you lip singing your hook. And I see you getting mad love, and there's a bunch of people. You know, I did this show where, you know, for 6 months, I told myself, I'm gonna say yes to everything. Whatever set I could get on, I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna get on that set. There was these dudes that were coming up from. You won't find any post to this, and there's a reason. You won't find anything on social media about this, and there's a reason. There's these dudes coming up from Atlanta that did a whole East Coast tour, up the coast of Atlanta, right? They're in New York. I see they're looking to like fill up a couple of spots, people that could sort of bring people and fill up a venue. They booked a super nice venue in Brooklyn. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm there, right? They tell me they told me I'm going on at 11. It was 1:30 a.m. Nothing had started. And, you know, I said, you know, I got people there. You know, I got like 6, 7 people there. I'm like, yo, I'm sorry. You know, I'm going to have to be out. One, because I saw real quick that it's not, you know, it was down south trap stuff, man. I'm a lyricist at the end of the day, true and true, right? It was down south trap stuff. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be out. It's like, no. Like, you know, we need you to perform. You got a bunch of people here. You know, you could kick off the show. You know, I poured everything into a three song set. I'm talking, you know, these are what did I do? I did Mejor en dos idiomas, yo soy lo que faltaba en el rap. No me hermano, yo no solito, no me mira ni la mano, el último álbum duro como el swing de mi cercano, right? Word for word. I only got backups on my mix that I'm playing out loud, right? Do a couple of other songs. And then I see the whole rest of the set go up there. And I know I'm giving you a long-winded answer to a short question. No. These dudes are not rapping, man. One, there's no bars, and they're not rapping. They're just up there sort of flexing for Instagram, kind of like dressed better than me. Got more expensive shit on. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, right? But all they were doing was getting content, man. And I believe the hype, and I think that's when it hit me. You know, like I saw their page with their followers that they bought and the likes that they bought, and I was hyped. You know, I'm telling people to pull up to this. I'm like excited to be performing, and it was empty, bro. I was the artist with the most people there. You feel me? Wow. And at the end of the day, you know, they're selling drinks for like $20. I'm like, you're trying to make money off artists, like it's crazy. And at the end of the day, that's when I realized I'm like, I'm better than a lot of people that are putting out this fake sort of success story. It's like flex. I'm better than so many people, and the people I need to find. What? The average that I did a couple of other shows. The average and people I need to find are the people that have been focused on their craft, their lyricism. And committed, right? They've been doing shows. I did this clothing drive out in Astoria outside. We raised that we filled, I want to say 20 boxes of clothes. People, I'm telling you, man, they pulled up in the van. They didn't give a fuck what we were doing. They just pulled up with bags and they dropped it in the box and they left because they were there for the drive. And then there was also like a good crowd, 20-something people that were walking outside, saw us, sort of came in, sat down, and were listening to music. such a range of artists. We got folksy pop artists. We got some. I ran into this dude. I want to shout him out, Jam Young. We got a song coming out.
Nice.
And this dude has been making music in Astoria the last 10 years. And just seeing his skill, man. You know, I'll say it here. And if ever I steal it, somebody will be able to find this and it'll be a little, it'll be a little scandal for social media. He started his set with, can I kick it? Yes, you can. Cannot freestyling about everybody in the audience off the tip. Wow. That was the first song in his set. And I was bought in, that level of engagement. I saw him do things like engage the crowd in ways that I never did before, and I told him that beginning of my set, I said, bro, I'm going to try to do what you just did because I believe in showing love, giving credit where credit is due. You know what I'm saying? And I try to do the same thing, get people bought into my hook, singing my lyrics the same way that he did and saw so much success. So at the same time that I see a lot of people that, have attention or have this fake attention without deserving it, I see some people that don't have any that deserve way more than I got, in my opinion, and that's something I can say because I'm humble and I've garnered people's attention and the support that I have through different ways. I have teammates, I have family, I have a bunch of friends. I've been blessed to be in a lot of different circles, right? Not everyone has been blessed with the level of support that I have, no matter what skill they got with the rapping, right? So it's like not surrounding yourself with those people. And I think my time, man, my time is a matter of time. It's a matter of the song, man, the beat, the sound. I think it's going to be something bouncy. I think it's going to be something with the Afro beats, bachata or merengue roots to it, where I can flow seamlessly and aimlessly. I feel like all these freestyles that I'm dropping on my Instagram should be blowing up. I'm feeling like some of the songs that I'm dropping should be blowing up. Like I do think that I'm putting stuff out there that is above the competition. That is better than what people are listening to every day right now. Is it mastered the same way? No, I'm doing it, myself. But I'm in the studio now, man. This has translated, living with my mom's, supporting my mom in this way has translated to a significantly higher music budget. And it's not going to marketing.
No, definitely.
It's not, because organically I'm growing at a pace that I'm comfortable, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to that. It's going to other things. And I think it's going to come through in the sound. Because like you said, it's going to be a song that does it. It's going to be one song that makes people pay attention to everything that I've dropped before.
Yes, it will.
That song is going to come out of investing in the music and investing in the craft. But that was a long-winded answer.
No, I think you covered it. I think it's reminiscent of the culture right now, particularly that the Gen Z generation, where it's more about the image and the flex over the volume. And you still have people dropping, like, thank God J.I.D. dropped that album finally, because that was coming. I remember that's supposed to drop in like 2019, and then they pushed it. J. Cole's, he was like, nah, it's not ready.
And then they did that because they also did that Dreamville one that was a lot of jig, man. Dreamville was a lot of jig.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And so, J.I.D., shout out to Kendrick, shout out, J. Cole. There's people still putting out stuff, but a lot of it is all about the flex, which, everybody, every part of hip hop has their time. You know what I'm saying? Like, drill had a quick moment and still kind of is hovering in the background for the most part because it has an infectious sound. The U's of the world, the two dappers of the world. Your time is coming because at some point volume takes place. At some point, it's like, okay, you're showing off this jewelry, which may be fake. I don't know. But, at some point it's like the image and you get all this money, but where is it coming from? And do you really have this money? So a volume has to come into some point, has to come to the forefront at some point. I know we got a little bit of time left, and I thank you so much of it. What I enjoy about your music is you go back and forth, and it's almost like you drag people along in this journey, like this vocal journey of yours, right? And it goes back and forth. And some people just may not get that all Or why is he rapping in Spanish and English? Like, why can't he just do one or the other? No, because that's part of the journey. And you're going to grab that. Like, listen to what he's saying. And even if you miss that, come back to it. Because he's spitting. It's coming together. Listen to what he's saying. And
I know you heard that what I was handed, right? Something you don't know about that verse is we talked about sort of the substance of music, sort of making it something people can go to. You mentioned that, right? And it's like that first verse is about police brutality.
Yeah.
That verse is on a song I could never put out. That verse was on a song I recorded that I could never put out because somebody bought exclusive rights for the beat. I wrote the first instance of that verse in response to the George Floyd shit.
Yeah.
Like in 2020, right, 2021, right when I got back into making music. And I'm toying with this verse, sort of prepping to do it at this live show. I hear this new beat that my producer sent me. And it's like, I took the first half of that. It's like when I'm like, Quis que ya no bello, de carajito, aprendí lo que sabía de tego, vengo. From a bloody past, no star spangled, because I ain't plot the killing. I played what I was handed, right? And then that becomes a hook. I played what I was handed. I ain't plot the killing. I played what I was handed. That was I go into a 24-bar scheme in the original song.
Wow.
And because that, Quis que ya no bello, play what I was handed. Well, you know, that part of it felt so true to how I felt about what was going on with police brutality today. That's the part of the verse that I kept. But to me, it set me up to write new bars about how I felt about what was going on. But I kept the first half, right? And it's like, to your point, I'm forgetting how I got here. I went on a bit of a tangent. But to your point, it's like, that music, that Quis que ya no bello, de carajito, aprendí lo que sabía de tego. That don't never mean anything in English, man. You know, like, that don't, Quis que ya no bello doesn't translate.
Right.
Because I'm not speaking to anybody that doesn't know what that means. You know, and like, that splits my audience. Effectively, that's what it does, right? When I post a video on social media and half of my verses in Spanish and half of it is in English, and I try to translate it by putting the English lyrics, it's splitting my audience, right?
Yeah.
It's splitting my audience, and I'm comfortable with that because I have cousins back home that are listening to rap that sounds nothing like, you know. Like I have a cousin, his favorite rapper is Roche RD. We get into arguments because, you know, we're from La Fraile, bro. You know, Roche is from La Fraile. We get into arguments because he's like, loco, porque tú no rapeas como Maduro, loco, de la calle, como caliente. That's not where I'm from. You know, I can't rap like Roche because that's not how I grew up. You know, and it's like, it pushes me though, man. It pushes me to not just drop a couple Spanish lines. It pushes me to try to find schemes like I did on this freestyle that I dropped, like to try to find longer schemes that I might be comfortable with because I'm so used to rapping in English. And I like that I'm catering to two different kinds of people when I'm rapping.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's fire. It's ahead of its time, to be honest. Because, you know, when if it's not you that blows with that, I'm calling out. Like, I hear a song and people fire. Listen, Too Dapper the rapper did that first.
Have you heard Coast Contra yet?
Who?
Coast Contra?
No.
Oh, man, you gotta. So listen to Apartment, write this down. Apartment 505.
Okay.
It's this super group out of the West Coast, and they have this Colombian dude, bro.
Really? Oh,
that be flowing between the languages aimlessly. He said, oigo mostrado este tipo colorado, black on both sides, and they try to copy my style. And bro, they're lyricists, you know, they got you know, I'm not gonna say that actually. They're all lyricists individually.
Yeah.
And they're gonna make you think, and he can rap in English and Spanish with a Colombian accent in Spanish, right? And he's a black dude, right? Like Afro Latino.
Right.
So I you know, go listen to him. That's the first time that I heard someone that I was like, damn, I'm gonna need to watch out for this dude. He's trying to do what I'm doing.
Listen, you was the first dude I heard, so I would listen. I would be like, yo, it's Too Dapper for me, but
for sure,
you know, I'm sure. You know,
they just got signed. I was doing it first at the end of the day.
So
I heard my shit too.
Listen, I think the last thing I would impart onto you, and then I'll, you know, give us your info, what's coming up, is protect your concepts.
Mm-hmm.
I've known many of rappers that had their concepts stolen by bigger name rappers, like platinum producing artists that were like literally, and I was present for that. I was literally like in the studio while these guys are writing, and he's telling this other rap artist, yo, this is my concept, and you know, it's about this girl and blah blah blah, and the guys are, oh, that's dope. And then they drop a single 3 months later, and it's that concept. And I'm like, and I heard it, didn't even catch on, and then my man hits me up like, yo, you believe this dude stole my shit, bro? And I'm like, wait, you talking about this dude? And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, yo, he stole my... And I'm like, oh shit, he did. He did. Yeah, I remember you telling him, yo, man, protect your concepts, because that's when you got something. Even if it's not your words, your concepts are just as great as the bars themselves, because you know trust me, and it's hard to prove. You have to be there in the moment, and you know you'll hear these stories where, yo, that dude jacked my shit. You'd be like, wow, like, nah, I had this concept first, and you'd be like, that's not bars, but that's just as much as bars, really. When you talk about painting a whole picture of what you're trying to say, you know, it's not. It's one thing when you're doing a concept song versus you're just flaming. You know, you're just going, I'm hitting you with bars and you know, the hook and all that. And so, you know, that's an industry rule. Protect your concepts. Because, yeah, man.
I remember when I dropped that acapella interlude, you were like, somebody gonna bite this.
Seriously, man.
Somebody gonna, and you know, I'm gonna have an acapella interlude on every tape, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because when you pull that out,
seriously. But, you know, some point, hey, listen, so they say that's the best form of flattery, right? Thievery, but I don't believe that. I think that's foul. I think it's foul, like, you know,
thievery and imitation is a very different thing.
Yeah, I think it's foul. You know, a thief came up with that. But sir, I thank you Too Dapper for your time, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, man.
What's coming up next? Give us the lowdown.
So, you know, the rest of this year I'm dropping a song every month.
Nice.
This month we got Caminos dropping on the 31st, the last day of the month. I think the 30th, 31st, last day of the month. Caminos I recorded out west at Green Tea Studios. It was mixed by Hustler. It was mixed a couple of dudes out there. And this song is gritty, man. It has the lo-fi sort of deep vocals that ASAP brought to the scene, but at the same time, you know, it has the flowing aimlessly between Spanish and English that I do, and it captures a moment in my life that, like, the song took a new meaning when I went back. I've been sitting on this song since back in April, and the song took a new meaning after my dad passed. To be honest with you, right? I say, soy enemigo de enemigo, check de corazón es frío. They ask about my life, yo le digo que es un lío. I say, girl, let's fly to Rio, make my brothers couple tíos. Gamble like casinos, right? It's like, I don't want to give you too much. Long story short, yo le digo que es un lío is the refrain, right? And it's like, my life has never felt more like a mess than it did right when that happened with my pops, right? So I felt like I was moved to drop it. I was holding on to that for an album. I was holding on to it for an album, but I was moved to drop it. I'm recording a video for that song in 2 weeks. We're going to drop a video afterward.
Nice.
And I'm investing in this one. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Even if that doesn't make the final cut, I think that this song deserves to be heard. It's only 2 minutes and 15 seconds. High replay value, and a lot of repetition. I think it's the best beat that Sella has made for me so far, for sure. No question. And that was the only reason I was holding on to it as not a single, is because it's so dense.
Okay.
Right? It's so dense in terms of what I rap about in the second verse, but it felt just, with where I am in my life, it's darker for sure. It's not the happy shit that I've been dropping. It's darker. But where I am in my life, I think that going into the fall, going into the winter time, is getting a little colder. People going to resonate, man, because I think a lot of people didn't realize they were going to lose so much through this process, you know?
Yeah, man. And, you know, I definitely...
Yeah. So Camino's dropping end of the month. And then we got something else, something a little more bouncy dropping next month. I got more than 30 songs in the archives that I'm ready to drop tomorrow. They're all mixed. I'm ready to drop them tomorrow.
Clips loaded.
I don't have to do nothing else. They're ready to drop tomorrow, but I'm holding on to them.
Clips loaded. Okay.
Right.
I hear you. Listen, man, follow this young man, Too Dapper the Rapper. He's on Instagram. He's on YouTube. He's on Spotify. Follow him on Spotify.
It's TOO.Dapper.NYC on Instagram. That's where you're gonna get all the content first. Follow me on Spotify. That's really, you don't want to miss any drop. Follow me on Spotify. Follow me on Apple Music. You don't want to miss anything. There's a lot more coming.
Definitely.
And listen, heck, man, even if this doesn't make the final cut, I appreciate you immensely, man. I've seen you on your grind. You always support it. And you go beyond just sharing stuff on your story. You post it on your feed to reach out to your people. I genuinely believe that you believe. You're not one of these people saying, oh, I believe in you, just so you get the follow and you get the support. Like, I genuinely believe. And when I talk to you, I'm empowered. I genuinely believe you believe. And that makes me so happy, man, as an artist trying to do this.
Man, listen, with hip hop, I don't play around. I've been listening to it for so long, and you know, I've had friends that I've been brutally honest. You know what I'm saying? I just tell like, listen, just get a job, man. Just get a job, because this ain't it. You know what I mean? And you know, and I got friends that you know that have done their thing and have kind of that have went as far. You know, they've had. I've had one friend that had a multi-platinum rapper steal from him. So still concepts and even some lyrics from him. So, you know, I don't play with that. And I think you definitely, your sound is a genuine sound. There's nothing like it. And, you know, there's influences. You can hear the influences in some sense. But I think a person, you know, when I hear you rap, man, I'm like, yo, nah, this dude, they gotta let him in one day. Like, there's just no way, you know, even if it's just a one shot, like, even if it's just a one shot, you know what I mean? Then fuck it, it's just that. But they gotta let this kid in, because this kid's, he's got something, and it's got, you know, if it's the country, the world, the neighborhood, whatever, you know, you gotta hear this kid. And I be telling you, you know, when I showed it to my friend, I'm like, yo, you gotta listen to this kid. They're like, yo, the kid is nice. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, yo, like, okay, I'll support, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, anything I could do to help you, you know, that's all, you know, if you're successful, then that's all that matters, you know, and shout out to you, shout out to your family, you know, my condolences.
Thank you, man.
And man, listen, you know, this is Too Dapper the Rapper. I am Just.Hek. This is just another podcast, season 3, episode 1. And thank y'all for joining us. Have a great night. Take care. Follow Too Dapper the Rapper.
How they gonna follow that? How they gonna follow that? Who's gonna rap, man? Who's gonna come on here and rap, man? How they gonna follow that?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Soy enemigo de enemigo. Check the corazón es frío. They ask about my life. Yo le digo que es un lío. I said, girl, let's fly to Rio. Take a gamble like casinos. Make my brothers couple deals. Cop some shirts, I'll change the estilo. Y cuando lo tira para atrás, lo saboreo como frito. She told me the world is mine. I guess I'm busting in the Clio. Shit, if I rule the world, I want all my niggas free though. Stacking chips just like Doritos. And we all get mixed like Smino. At 18, get El Camino. Stop worrying about Caminos. Bank accounts got hella zero. And the teachers is the heroes. Water fountains be on Pino. Every day we drinking vino. And when I think about it, it ain't picture perfect, but that's how I picture freedom. End of the day, I want the feeling that they chillin' with the killing. And the homies rapping, got the clouds clapping, got all the people streaming. Cuando vengo se pone frío, siempre puesto pa' lo mío. And when I think about it, it ain't picture perfect, but that's how I picture freedom. Yo me muero por lo mío. Switch the flows and change the style. And the homies rapping, got the clouds clapping, and we leaving El Camino. I'm always moving like I'm still in second. You don't wanna die, you need muscle memory. Biggest question, how I'm weaving sentences. Vocal tone is a tool for empathy. Too dapper grow, we befriending enemies. Keep Sella close, cause he morph like centipede. I'm in the pocket, like a wallet and some keys. Cuando vengo se pone frío, siempre puesto pa' lo mío. Desde los frailes tengo mi pile cuatro, and I gotta taste the freedom. End of the day, I want the feeling that they chillin' with the killing. And the homies rapping, got the clouds clapping, and we leaving El Camino.